Don't do it. Don't do it. See, I promise you, don't do it. You have no reason whatsoever. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Bridget Kadoanya. If this is the first time you've seen this beautiful face, please do not make it your last by hitting the subscribe button below and turning on your notifications so as to get my videos whenever I post them. And if it's not, hey my loves, wagwan. So today's topic is going to be about things you should avoid. Things you should avoid doing. And if you're here to listen to this beautiful face talk about all of these things, please keep watching. So, my loves, the first thing on my list that I think you should avoid doing is sending your nudes. Don't do it. Don't do it. See, I promise you, don't do it. You have no reason whatsoever, no matter how interesting, how sweet, and you know that your relationship is going. Sending your nudes should be the last thing you ever do for any reason. And this is because we have a future, whether you like it or you do not like it. You're going to want somehow in life, sometime in life, get involved into things that would help you develop as a human. And imagine you see your nudes flying. So the truth is, right, in relationships, I personally believe that anybody that asks for your nude do not have respect for you. No 2 cents, no 2 ways, no gra gra inside. You cannot afford to have your nude. Come on, you're going to have kids. You are going to, for the politicians like me that likes politics, you're going to somehow, sometime in your life, want to get involved into politics, or you just want to be somewhere where they record good people, where things happen. I know you know what I'm trying to say, right? So you really cannot. It's demeaning. So I'm making this video for guys and for girls. I am not specific to a gender. Our African society has made it look like the guys can get away with anything and that they do not have they do not have a dignity. The truth is, the men also have dignity to protect. So do not think that because sending your nudes, we all think that sending your nudes should be for only women. It is really not true, right? Even as men, respect yourself. Put some respect on your nudity, for crying out loud. So even if you're involved with anybody, it should be your personal thing. Do not put your nudes out there. We see social media, the world is evolving, right? Social media has now made a small community look very big. Unlike the times of our mothers where, they did not have phones, but I know many of them still did all of those strip for me kind of thingy, but there was no fear of the next person would see how I look, or the next two persons would see, or he would get to. The worst that could happen at the time was maybe discuss it with their friends over a drink or something, for the very irresponsible ones, right? But now, if you cough, somebody can record it and put out there. So, I mean, you really do not need it. You should do things that would make you proud in 20, 30, 40 years. And even when your kids come, they are not ashamed to say, oh, my mom is a responsible mom. My dad is a responsible dad. You shouldn't mar, the beautiful things that would eventually happen to you later in life. I hope this helps you. And so the next thing that I think you should avoid doing as a human is depending on other human beings. And when I mean depending on other human beings, I don't mean your parents, you know what I'm trying to say, right? I mean being solely trusting people with things that matter to you, or trusting people that that they would come through for you in a situation. The truth is, I'll always tell you what the truth is that we are humans and we're not God. and anything can happen at any point in time in our lives. See, okay, I'll take for example when I was preparing to go for service, I was all happy that I had finished school. So I had uncles who were particular about what next you want to do with your life. Okay, now you're a graduate, so what next? And what's next on the list for a graduate? Go and serve and do your thing. So they came up with that. Okay, so I have a couple of people that work for NYSC. When you're ready, just let me know. I'll link you up, or I'll work something out for you. Da da da, this and that. Oh, my mind, I was at rest. I've seen people that will help me with my NYSC. Ha ha. I laugh in Tokyo when it was time for NYSC. Numbers were not going through. The ones that went through did not peak. The ones that peaked gave excuses. And now, to be very frank, this does not make them bad people. It just makes them human, right? Anything could have happened at the time, right? So, what I'm saying in essence is try to have a plan B for yourself. Do not solely depend on people. People will fall your hand. That is the truth. Whether they intentionally do it or not, but people would somehow, sometime, at some point fall your hand. Do not be solely dependent. I'm telling you from experience. I know you also had your own fair share, but some people are just always very. I have one uncle somewhere, I have one auntie somewhere that would always come through for you. Okay, what if they do not come through for you? What if they are not able to come through for you? Somebody promises to give you 100,000 naira, and something happens, and maybe the person's car that is worth millions breaks down, and he had to spend so much money fixing the car and all of that. And you are calling to say, Uncle, the 100,000 you borrow me, you want to kid him? So he might have it, but it might not just be a good time to spare such an amount of money for you. So at that point, what happens to you, my dear? Think about it. So the next point on my list is to avoid is thinking that every other person have got their lives figured out while you've not. Ah, my dear, I wish you knew, or I wish you know. I wish you know. I wish you know. You know what I'm talking about, right? So we all are in this roller coaster ride together. Listen, we all, including myself and yourself, we are all in this roller coaster ride together. We do not have it all figured out. See, you might see this person, oh, school is going on well, oh, this person is working, oh, if you have a conversation, just sit and have a heart-to-heart talk with this person. You will understand better. So this is not to undermine the fact that many people are actually doing so well for themselves. But my point is, you do not have to compare them to you, right? Trust your process. Talk to God. That is one secret I want to bring to you. You see this God, he never fails, and that is the truth. So you need to trust your process, you need to trust your faith in God and understand that at his own perfect time, everything would happen, right? I was giving I share my experience with how people failed me for NYC and all of that. So even before then, right, I remember I was supposed to come out for the first batch after school, and I didn't come out for the first batch. I was so sad that my mates were already going for NYC and all of that was happening. I was very sad. But then I had to wait. My mom encouraged me. My sister spoke to me, just calm down. It's nothing. It's just the next month. It doesn't mean anything, right? But we humans, I would like to just worry a lot about very unnecessary things. So I was worried for a bit, and it came out the next time, and removing the whole promise thingy, right? Everything just went smoothly. I didn't pay a dime, and I still served where I wanted to serve. I didn't pay a dime. It is how God just brought somebody, right, and somehow just worked it into just giving me what I always wanted. And that's how powerful God can be when you trust Him. So all of these things just happen at their own time. You don't have to try to compare yourself to somebody else. People might be, oh, congratulations when something happens to somebody, celebrate with them, do everything you have to do with them. But do not go back to thinking, oh, this person is doing this thing and my own is not. No. You might be winning on this side and the person is winning on the other side. How about that? And so the next point to avoid doing as a human being or as a boy, as a girl, blowing up your savings. It's a very wrong financial attitude, right? Everybody at every point in their lives need to be very disciplined with their finances. And I cannot overemphasize this, right? Understanding how your income comes in, understanding how your expenditures go, understanding generally that you're supposed to work according to what you earn, not they do pass yourself. Do not do more than yourself. It is unhealthy. Take it from me. So personally, I am somebody that likes to preach that if you cannot afford something 3 times, do not get it. You cannot afford it, right? You see something you really like, oh, it's nice, you want to get it, you want to own it, you want to die, you want to do, and you look at your account and your account is not speaking that language. Please leave it, at least for the moment. Worst case scenario, you begin to work towards it. You begin to work towards it. You begin to work towards getting better, or sorry, earning better, or saving small towards that project, but not blowing up the one you already have, killing yourself to get something that sometimes is just a liability. You really shouldn't, because you want to feel some type of way, because you want to look some type of way, and that is why you have to be financially disciplined so as to work towards doing that thing at the right time. When you can afford it is the right time. Okay, so another point I really want to talk about, this one is very important to me, and I'm sure it will be very important to you, is to avoid listening to what people have to say. And when I mean stop listening to or stop thinking about what this person would say or what the other person would say before going on to do something you've always wanted to do, I mean that humans generally will always talk. Good, bad, ugly. They will talk. So why kill yourself? Why do you want to be in that position where you allow people's talk, people's comments, people's opinion affect your life? Everybody should be busy facing their life. And this is not to say that when you're doing something wrong and people, revaluation, maybe begin to hear, okay, few talks, okay. You try to retrace, you try to adjust, but in a case where you are not, that this is what you want to do, and by all standards it is right, do not listen. Just do it. In fact, just do it. Even if you're going to listen, oh, thank you, valid opinion, thank you, but do not put yourself in that situation where you always need people's validation to do anything you want to do. You always want this person to approve of it, or you're always scared of what your neighbor will say, or what your this person will say, or that person will say. Everybody will be fine. They're all going to adjust. We live in a world where things happen and people eventually at some point adjust to it. And it's not going to stop now. So everybody would adjust. Just do it and know that you are satisfied yourself, right? For example, you want to travel, right? You're a traveler, you like someone, you're somebody that likes to travel, and you save up money, you can afford to save up this money and take yourself to Dubai. You just want to experience. Some people's mode of education is traveling, right? Of course, we know that too. So, and you really, really can afford this thing, and you do it, and people are beginning to, how would you go to Dubai and your cousin is in one corner? How would you do this and you do not go with somebody? How would you do this? Hey, people will continue to talk and talk and talk and talk. And if you still do not go to that Dubai and you can afford it, can't you even spend on yourself? Can't you even take small money and take yourself out to a nice place, to a DDD, to a that? People will always talk. So please, just do you at every point in your life. Learn to do you. And so the next point I am going to talk about now is avoid being in a space where you feel less. There is this thing about negative energy. We always think we have too much control over ourselves, we can handle things, but there is something about negative energies that no matter how strong, I don't want to know how strong your personality really is, somehow it would get to you, somehow it would envelope you. This is not to say that you should be around people who deceive you. No. Be around people who tell you the truth with love and not try to talk down on every of your efforts. You don't need those people. Friends, family, cousins, neighbors, distant friends, acquaintances, don't be there. Do not be there. You have no business being around such people. Some people are just bad vibes naturally. Some people, because they do not have certain things going on in their lives, they feel like they will ruin every. I've had that experience with somebody that never saw that. When you are trying to do something and you think you have a friend and you try to relate this thing, and the next thing the person just carries your energy from 100 to like -0, and that thing dies like that. Do not be around such people. Don't go around being with people that deceive you, that cannot tell you the truth. I just hail you at every point in time and say, "Oh, you're doing well, you're doing well," even when you know that what you're doing is not good. No, that's not my point. My point is, do not be around people who do not see the good in you. You're always at every point in your life supposed to be around people who bring out your spark. People who cheer you when you are actually doing well, criticize you when you're not doing well, and help you still stand up and continue going. Okay, so this brings us to the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification so as to see when next I post my videos. See you guys next time. Bye bye.